What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. In today's video we got a 4-tech on the table and we're gonna work on the suspension. So few things only an idiot would do, which I did. First of all, this wing is so wiggly woggly that's gonna make the car go bananas. Get rid of this shit. And then my suspension is not stiff enough. You see this? So I want to make this stiff so it just sits in one position and it doesn't move, and give it a small amount of slack where it can just go down, and that's it. That's all it can do. Just a tiny bit. In the back, I want it to be really stiff. I'm going to get rid of these straps. So this is the body that we used. So this was a pretty good setup with this body. I like the body. We're going to leave the body alone. I might get rid of this little snow plow in the front. Anyways, matches the wheels. Perfect. I might do the wing like going across. It'll start from down here and it'll go across and up. That'll be it, okay? Nothing more than that. Anyways, other than that, we got these spacers that we're going to use inside the shocks. So once I take it apart, you guys are going to see these. You can find them on Hot Racing, on A-Main Hobby. Amazon also has it. There's a part number there. If you guys want to get to check that out. It's SPC3004. That's a part number. It comes as a set. I bought a few of these so I can do 1 or 2 cars. Anyways, let me take this baby apart. Also, I want battery on each side. So I want to run it probably a 6S this time. And give it a good push. And let's see what we can get out of this. Okay, it's do or die. Anyways, let me take everything apart. And then I will show you what I'm about to do with these spacers inside the shock. So in the front, I'm going to drop it a bit. So I'll probably put one of the smaller spacers, the smallest one in here. And in the bottom, I'll lock up the tubing. And in the back, I'm going to stiffen it up from all the sides so it cannot move at all. So it's sitting like a little bit low from the front. Anyways, let me do this and then I will show you guys as we go along. Okay, so I took the shock apart and this is what I'm doing in the bottom. I'm sorry, on the inside. And then we'll put this shock right through. So I'm using... not the smallest, the third smallest here. So on the bottom end here, I want this thing to be eliminated completely. So I like to use shock tubing on the outside. That's what I'm gonna do. Fuel tubing. That's what I meant by shock tubing. So I'm gonna go pick some up from right over here, and I got my scissor here. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna cut just about the same size of that, just a tiny little bit smaller. And there you go. We got that baby right there. So let's look at it one more time. It's a little bit big, so I'm gonna give it a little bit of slack. Okay, the reason why I want to give it a little bit of slack so it can at least have a little bit of absorb, and plus this tubing is soft, and plus remember that little base gotta go on. This little guy gotta go on here. So, and if I gotta go back, I might switch to a smaller size if I need to go back onto this. So, all we're gonna do is we're gonna cut one more piece, because once you have it all together, you don't want to come back to find out what was the size for the opposite side. So just cut 2 of the same exact size. If it goes to waste, it goes to waste. Okay, so there you have it. What I want to do is little bit trim this guy. I'm going to trim this guy a little bit. So I'm going to show you only one in the front and one in the back. But I will be doing all 4, okay? So it'll be the same process for the other one. There you go. I like that. So make sure it's nice and flush. Let's put this on. This is the hard part, okay? Because putting this on, the whole shock wants to go inside. So what I like to do is put something in there. And that way you can get this to go in there. Okay, remember, you got a little bit of glap there. I just want to cut this corner off right here, because that's gonna make it look uneven. So now the hard part, this baby gotta go on. Okay, the shock might want to turn, so this is where my needle nose comes handy. So what I like to do is, let me clean the needle nose. I was doing some engine oil changes the other day. And we're gonna go a little bit beyond that. You don't want to kill the shock either. Like, just hold it enough, and once it stops, it stops. Perfect. Nice spacing. So see, we only got that much of a space playing, and I don't even want that, to be honest with you guys. I don't even want that, but that's gonna be eliminated with this little guy. You see how this goes? This will go right here. I'm not sure if it's gonna eliminate it or not, because I see, okay, it is kind of gonna eliminate it. That's perfect. I like that idea there. Okay, let's see if I can get this onto the housing. Okay, that tubing is gonna give me trouble, but trouble is a part of the hobby. Okay, there you go. So we got tiny bit of a slack. That's perfect. Tiny bit of a slack. And we dropped about 2.5 millimeters there, or 3. Okay, 1, so yeah, about 3 millimeters we dropped there. Okay, there you go. So what I want to do next is I'm gonna put my okay, I should have got this on first, but I just stuck it right through. Okay, that's not gonna work out for me. I'm gonna have to come back out. Okay, because this piece is not gonna go in now. So it goes from the bottom, so I gotta take off everything again. I gotta take off this little guy. Okay. If you gotta do these, sometimes you gotta do this thing 3 times or 4 times, because it's there. Nothing is perfect, you know, and that's how it is. If you want to be in the hobby, that's how it's gonna be. So one more time, let's give it another attempt. Your tubing is gonna take kind of beating at this moment, but that's fine. Make sure it sits properly, and sometimes the tubing will slice in half. That means you gotta get back in there and redo it, and just keep eye on it. That's perfect. Gotta put these spacers on. They go right underneath this guy. Okay, so they go underneath this. 1 and 2. Got that on, so it's nice and stiff. No oil. I don't use oil on these guys. Don't need oil, but if you want to put oil, I might go back and put oil. But once I find everything's perfect, okay, there you go. We got one ready. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna simply put this baby back in. Let's see how it goes with the second one. Okay, let's take off this bolt. We don't want problems right now. So what I want to do is I want to get this guy in. There you go. Okay, so remember, you want clearance on the ground too. You don't want to just the vortex to be touching the floor there. There you go. I find it's high. It's too high. Okay, I find it to be too high. I might want to drop a bit more. Okay, I might want to drop a bit more. So we're gonna go back. Gonna have to redo the whole thing. That's where I want it at. I want that much squat. Okay. I don't want that. Okay. So let me get rid of everything and then I will show you again. Okay, what I want to do is I want to leave it alone because we did, okay, this is the one we worked on and this one we didn't. So you see the difference there? That's the difference. Look at how low it is compared to that if you put it together. So maybe I will switch to the largest one in there inside, okay? But look at the stiffness. This is the one we worked on right here in my hand. And look at the difference. Look at this and look at this. See that? Look at this. It barely can move. But if I can drop it a bit more, that'd be perfect for me. And there you go. That's the difference. It's pretty stiff. Okay, this is going to give us better stability in the vehicle when we're doing a high speed run. So we're going to come back out. What we're going to do is I am going to go the largest piece there. And the tubing is going to be crushed, but that's fine. The tubing is going to have to cry. The tubing is going to have to cry today. Come on, let this baby come out. There you go. And this comes off. And this comes off. But we need a needle nose for this little guy. So this is gonna be my final showing you guys on this front one, and then I will show you the rear one, and and then I will work on the front one as well on the opposite side. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go out. The tubing is gonna come off. That's fine. Okay, the top is gonna come out. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this guy off. We're gonna put it to the side. We're gonna take one of these, the larger pieces. So it's just a tiny bit larger than the other one. Okay, it's only probably by a half a millimeter, which is more than enough. So that's what we're gonna stick with. We're gonna put this in. I'm gonna put it through the shock. Okay, so I'm gonna put this guy in. We're gonna put this in the back. Get this guy in all the way. Now it's gonna be tough. Now it's gonna be the hard part here. Okay. Oh wait, we still gotta get this guy in. Moving too fast. You can also adjust the height of the vehicle just by turning this. But let that be your last option. But make sure right and left is in the same position. Like I want to go. I don't want to see any threads there. I want it to the very end. There you go. That's to the very end. Okay. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna put this on, and this is gonna be the hardest part of this creation here. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Cold weather, allergies, all kinds of stuff is going on in here. Okay, come on, little guy. There you go. Remember, the tubing is gonna be crying now. That tubing is gonna be like screaming for help. But the tubing, you need that tubing there because it's flexible. You don't want to put nothing solid. Then you won't be able to do none of this stuff. But there you go. The tubing is crushed. And tubing has taken a crazy beating in there. And it's cracked. It's cracked. The tubing has cracked. So we're going to eliminate tubing as well. We're going to eliminate tubing in there. Okay, but now we gotta get this guy off one more time. But it felt really stiff this time. Okay, maybe if I take out these spacers, they will give me time to work with the spring at least. Come on. Gotta squeeze that spring to get this guy out of there. There you go. So let's see what kind of damage. Yeah, the tubing got cracked right there. You see that? Tubing got cracked, and we don't want that. So I'm going to pause the video, and I will come back. I'm going to think of something over here. Okay, I redid the work, and what I did was I spliced this and this, because that's the hardest part that's giving us trouble. Now it should be much, much easier. I swapped out the tubing, and there you go. Okay, a little bit more extra work, but that's fine. Remember, we gotta go over that lip. We gotta go over that lip. Fingers are gonna hurt, but it is what it is. A little bit more. Whew, look at my hands. Look at that. Okay. Just observe your tubings once you're done, and if the tubing looks good, you're fine. In our case, the tubing, yeah, it looks squashed, but it will do. It will do. I'm gonna fix up the tubing because it's sticking to one side. There you go. Perfect. Okay, look at that. Nice and rough. We are gonna put these spacers because these spacers make a big difference load-wise on the shock. Okay, there you go. Perfect. Okay, they just make the spring a bit stronger. Okay, so we're done with this shock. So give me a moment. I'm going to show you guys just about now the difference between this and the other shock. So I'm going to hold this a bit to tighten this. There you go. So here's the difference. This is not done and this is done. So look at the difference. I can't even barely move that. I can't even compress that. I can't even compress that. Okay, compared to this is compressible. This one is barely, okay? So this is gonna absorb a little bit of bumps, but it's gonna be more stiffer ride, okay? So let me do this one as well, and then we'll continue for the back ones. Okay, here we are on the rear one. I got one done already here. Nice and stiff. It got a little bit of play in it. So did not open the inside up because we're not putting nothing there. All we want is something that's gonna lock up. So I'm using the largest piece in my package. So that's what I'm putting there, the largest piece in the package. And now it's gonna be tough for me to close this up, but we should be able to. I want to leave about 2 threads also behind, like 2 threads here down, so that the rear end is like pretty high. So I want to go grab this, and we're gonna go all the way as much as we can. And okay, that's too much. Let me just go back a bit. There you go. A little bit more. I want to go back a little bit more there. There you go. That looks good. So that's where we're gonna leave it at. So it has a little bit of a squat to it. Once it squats down, it sits there. Okay. You know, now I'm thinking. Now that I'm thinking, okay, some of this is gonna be eliminated. Some of this is gonna get eliminated by the bottom shock piece. But the bottom shock piece is not gonna go on easy on this side because it's all metal here, nothing to play around with. So we're gonna have to cut this here. We're gonna have to cut this here. Also, we're gonna trim here a little bit and trim here. So now we're gonna have to just force this baby in there. But don't forget to put the pieces that needs to go in there, such as this guy, the spring. And because you're not going to be able to get that later. So let's pull it out. And what we're going to do is I'm going to put this baby back together. And then at the end of the video, I will show you guys how much squat we got on this baby. And the whole key here is equal play in the suspension and nothing crazy. And I do need to put these spacers in. One. Let me get the second one. Okay. Another thing I want you guys to check is, I think I forgot to tell you, mention that in the front when I was doing the front. You do want to put these together right next to each other. The height should be equal, okay? From base to base, okay? So there you have it. Rear 2 shocks, perfectly done on this Fortec. And it got a nice squat to it, really nice squat to it. And that's it. Let me put this baby together and then I will show you. Okay guys, there we have it. The rear is done. The front is done. Okay, front shocks are done. Equal squat, equal amount of squat. Nice and stiff. No more strap ties. I used to use strap ties. The front, same thing, equal amount of squat. And a little bit of weight on the car. Everything should equal out. But look at the height in the back. Let me bring the camera down. And we'll look at the height of this baby. Let's bring our lighting down so we can see it equally. There you go. Look at the back and look at the front. It is kind of a little high, but once the weight is on it, and it's going to go a little bit more once the batteries are in on it. And once it squats, it will equal out. So the back has squat and the front has a little bit. Nice and perfect, okay? It's nice and perfect. So let me take my light. And I'll put the lighting from the back end. There you go. You guys can see it. There you go. Perfect. All right, guys. Rest of the stuff, the wings and everything, you guys going to have to just stay tuned on my channel and check that out. Got this ring out. We don't want it. And this baby is ready to go in the field. I need to do soldering. And I'm going to find out how to put 2 batteries, one on each side with straps. And that's how it's going to be. Thank you for watching my video, guys. Give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share and like.